What's up, guys? Zayd here. Yesterday, I believe it was, or the day before, I posted a budget Zoodiac deck profile for the XYZ event on Master Duels, XYZ Festival. And in that comment section, I actually got a lot of questions about what the deck would look like not on a budget, how to play it, and like how to combo with it, and just like how to push for damage and apply pressure. And so I honestly I'm not used to the fact that there's a lot of newer players that play Master Duel or players that might have been more casual before or that just wouldn't have played this deck. So I really didn't describe Zoodiac cards because my current fan base, I guess, or not really fan base, I don't like that word, but viewership on YouTube is more like competitive regular Yu-Gi-Oh players. And most every one of them knows what Zoodiac cards do. This is like the best deck for a long time. And they're once you get to know them, they're like really simple cards. So I figured I'll show you guys like an optimized list and I'll show you how to use these cards if you don't already know how to use them. And so enjoy, I guess. Yeah. So to start off like the more optimized list, we're playing more cards that would be higher rarity in Master Duel like this also I'm doing it on Dueling Book so I can show you test hands and stuff easier. Master Duel is not very great for that. But in my deck profile, I wasn't playing Thoroughblade because it's a SR. But if you're maximizing budget, this is like the or if you're not on a budget, fucking hell, it's early in the morning for me. My words are I haven't been talking much today, so this is my first time talking. So forgive me if I'm butchering shit, but Thoroughblade is like the best of them because you could pitch to draw. So if you have too many names, it'll help you cycle for hand traps and stuff. But it's also the only one that actually allows you to like combo versus just making a Dryden. Then you've got 3 Ram Ram, 3 Whiptail, and I played 3 Bunny Blast. Not everyone likes this card, but I feel like 15 names is a good amount of names, and you play 12 and then 3 with Tanky. Tanky's another card that was super rare, so I wasn't playing in the budget list, but it's a really good card. You should probably play it. 3 Desires, you draw. It's also an SR. 3 Maxi, 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Droplet. These are my going second cards. Ash isn't as important in this deck because you don't really lose to a Maxi. You just give them 1 draw if they Maxi you. So it's not like crazy. So you could switch this out because these are all URs. But like I said, this would be like a maximum budget build. If you already have staples from another deck, you can add these to it. Then I play Triple Twin Twister because there's a lot of back row in this like format. 3 Strike, 3 Torrential, and a Harpy's Feather Duster. Duster for the same reason. And then Torrential, Strike are very strong traps, but they also double as going second cards. Then the extra deck's basically the same. The only differences, so I'll just go over the same ones real quick. 3 Tiger Mortar, 2 Hammer Kong, 3 Chakanine, 3 Borbo, 1 Dryden. And then the things that are different from the budget build are these are the 3 cards that if you're like building this deck for the event and you don't own these cards and you're wanting to make more than just like common and rare ticket investment in this deck, get these. At least 1 Vespinato. I'm playing 2. And a Zeus. It's limited to 1 in Master Duel. Zeus is UR, Vespinato is SR. These cards are what allow you to apply more pressure. Zeus, if an XYZ battles, you could slap it on top of it in the main phase 2. And then during either player's turn, you could detach 2, wipe the board. And Vespinato is not nearly as impactful. You can summon this on top of a rank 4 or lower. Or no, just a rank 4. And then when it dies, it summons a level 5 or lower from graveyard, and it does piercing. Not very relevant, but the thing that matters is that you can put it on top and it's 2500 attack. It's really just like a beater. So I'm going to hop into solo real quick and just show you guys like a tiny bit about this deck. Hopefully it'll help you if you were struggling with it. And if you know how to play this deck, you can skip this portion. It's not like crazy. And so like even with like this opening here, I just let it auto do the hand, but I'll put these cards back even. I'll show you guys like what you do when you have access to 1 zoo and 1 zoo only, and then I'll show you what to do if you have a way to put a zoo in grave. So when you literally only have 1 zoo and you're going first, this deck's not very complicated. You just like overlay for a Zoodiac. I typically go Borbo now. At first I was doing Hammer Kong, but so like if your hand is 1 zoo and 4 interruptions like hand traps and stuff, and you overlay for a zoo and they max C you here, I just wouldn't even make the Dryden if I have 4 other interruptions. I would just pass and not even give them the draw. And so I want to make a Borbo because before I was using Hammer Kong, but he requires you to detach at the end phase, and I'd just rather not do that. Because then the stat line on it goes away. If you do it with a Whiptail, it doesn't have that protection effect. Because one thing I didn't explain to you guys about the zoos, if you don't know how they work, they all say you can overlay this card on top of a Zoodiac monster you control. You can only do that once per turn. And then the Zoodiac main deck monsters all say that their attack is given to the monsters that's made using them. Or actually, I think that's what these say. Yeah, let me just read it to you guys. Once per turn, you can XYZ blank by using a Zoodiac you control the different name. Transfer its materials. It gains attack and defense equal to the attack and defense of all Zoodiac monsters attached to it. And then the Zoodiac monsters all have an effect that it gives to the monster that you make using it. And then they each have another effect. So like Whiptail quick effect, you can equip it to one of your guys. And then when he's equipped to a guy, if that guy battles at the end of the damage step, or after damage calculation, you can banish that monster. But so here, if you're going first, you literally just have a zoo. You just like overlay for a Borbo, overlay for a Trident, and pass. And now you have your Trident as an interruption, plus whatever other interruptions you drew. That's not very complex. And then if you open, say, I'll go with the Thoroughblade and the Ram. I believe this is like the best combo you can have with this deck, technically. So you would like summon your Thoroughblade, pitch your Ram to draw, and then we'll overlay for Hammercon. This play plays into Max C though, which is why it's not very optimal to me going first. Because here you'll overlay into Chalkanine, bring back the Ram. And then we go into, I believe, Trident here. Detach from Trident, pop the Ram. Ram's effect will special back Chalkanine. And then you could put the Vespinato down on top of that. And so your one card, you replaced the card you discarded with Thoroughblade. So it's like a 1.5 card combo. You have to discard, but the discard gets replaced. And then you end on the Trident and also the Vespinato, which floats. And then the Vespinato also, like if you're doing this play going second, this is 4,100 damage. And then main phase 2, you could throw the Zeus down on top of the Vespinato. There's also a case where when I made the Hammer Kong, I should have made, or I went Hammer Kong, Chalkanine. I probably should have put Tiger Mortar on top of Chalkanine just so that the Trident would have an additional material so that I could get a pop on their turn. The turn will come back to me and I can get an additional pop. And so that's like one of the main like aggressive combos to put out a little bit more damage. These combos, like I said, they're really not complex. Once you play this deck a little bit, you'll get the hang of it really fast. This is not a hard deck to play. Like to the point where I don't even know what other like combos to show you guys. There's not really combos. I mean, let me even just ponder for a sec if there's another one I even would need to showcase. I guess I could show you what to do if you've used your Trident and it lives and that's all you have. What to do next to still have an interruption. So say like I opened the Thoroughblade and I opened 4 interruptions. So I'll just give myself like droplet, twin, I guess. I don't know. Just any 4 cards that aren't zoo cards. So this was your opening, right? And so our turn led off with special this. We passed to our opponent and they didn't kill our Trident. We pop a card and the turn rolls back to us, but we draw another like spell trap. We don't draw another zoo card. Here, what you can do to like still be able to play the game is you'll Trident, clear a card on their board, and then we'll overlay the Trident for Chalkanine, detach from Chalkanine to special back the Trident. And you might be thinking, how can you target the Trident that you just detached? So you detach as cost and then you target. So as long as you have an initial zoo in graveyard, which we do, we have Thoroughblade Borbo, then we could target what we detach because you detach first, then out of what's there, you select your target. So we'll summon the Trident, and he cannot be used for XYZ material this turn, and his effects are negated this turn. That's the effect of Chalkanine. But then from here, we can make a Tiger Mortar, use Tiger Mortar's effect to slap a Thoroughblade or anything else under the Zeus. The reason I'm opting for the Thoroughblade is because it gives it stats. It gives it 1,600 attack. And then from here, we'll make the Borbo on top of the Tiger Mortar, enter our battle phase, attack our opponent directly with Borbo's effect, and then we're able to slap a Zeus down there. You also, if you had a monster you wanted to clear that was under 25, could overlay the Tiger Mortar into the Vespinato, attack your opponent's card, kill it, and then main phase 2 still have access to Zeus. And so, like, if you think about it that way, in the scenarios where this comes up, you had a Trident that was made out of one Zoodiac card. You pop a card on their turn, so you gained one card out of it. You pop a card on your turn coming back, you get an additional card out of it. Now you have a Trident lined up again that'll get you a third pop, and then a Zoo swipe. So you're getting like 4+ cards out of one Zoo. It just takes time for that to happen. This deck is not like a kill you in a turn deck, especially in the XYZ only format, because the way that you could hypothetically kill in 1 to 2 turns would be with links. But you just continuously gain advantage with plays like this, and then you use all your back row and hand traps to like stun your opponent out of the game. This was not the most in-depth like combo tutorial ever, because this is a very simple deck at its core. It's really just about grinding, using your interruptions correctly and stuff like that. So I hope this helped you, and if you have more questions, please ask them below. I think I answered basically everyone's questions/concerns from the first video. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching.